like and subscribe.
Welcome to Soulcast. I'm Iyare Igiehon. Today I'm joined by a writer, director and actor whose work spans television, independent film and a global creative journey. Best known as the creator, writer and star of the critically acclaimed BBC and A24 series Dreaming Whilst Black, he brings a unique perspective on building a creative vision from the ground up. Adjani Salmon, welcome to Soulcast.
Thank you for having me, Iyare.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. You know what? It's funny because we met. When did we meet? Was it 2017, maybe? 2016.
When did S.O.U.L first start?
The first
one in the BFI.
Yeah, so we first event we did was 2014.
I made a film 2015.
Yeah. So it's like the thing that's really interesting about that is because obviously you at one point you come through with this web series.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, cool. We said this is good. We screened it, we put it on and everything. But like, and I mean, I knew it was good and everything, but like, I couldn't have predicted what it was going to become, right? But obviously, you stuck a load of your own money in actually turning it into a web series, so you must have had some inkling that you thought it was going to do something. So
yeah, but I back myself though.
Is it?
I back myself. From unjustifiably so.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why I back myself the way I did or probably do. But, I mean, I don't know. I back myself.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it kind of works out. So I think one of the things it'd be really interesting to start to get into with you is how do you get there in the first place? Mm-hmm. So, like, what's the start place for you in terms of becoming that filmmaker or that kind of creative person? Where does that start for you?
Because I grew up in Jamaica, so
yeah.
like film was never really an option, I guess. And ironically, I used to make these like kung fu movies back in, would it be year 8, year 9?
Yeah.
And we used to love like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, them thing. You know what I mean? Like, so we used to make like these kung fu films. But again, when it came to like what was the equivalent of like GCSEs, A-levels, it wasn't even a thought to be like, oh, that thing that you do during lunchtime, you should try and do. But it was only when I was kind of between architecture jobs and my cousin came down from England and he was studying film. And I was just, because I was working at the time, so I had like a run-around car. So I was just driving him to film shoots. And to be honest, the man was doing photo shoots with like Miss Jamaica and all them things. So I'm there for the vibes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, I'm happy to just hold up something. But in that time, I was like, oh man, I have this cool idea. We should film it. And we kind of filmed it, put it out there. And then like, oh, I have this other idea. We should film it. And we kept just filming stuff, which I guess now, it's like comedy sketches, right? But like on YouTube. So it'd be like TikTok content, but like 2011. So, and we just put it out on Facebook, promoted on Facebook, all of that kind of stuff. And we did like me, Henry, Kimmy, my two cousins, we kind of filmed like 13, like every week. That entire summer when he was here, we shot a sketch and just released it every week. And then he left. But as soon as he left, someone kind of called and was like, oh, you guys doing this thing on YouTube? And I was like, yeah. They're like, right. Because that time, digital campaigning was a thing. Like, that was when it was pushing to, like, promoting on Facebook. And Smirnoff got in touch and was like, yo, we're doing a Facebook exclusive campaign. Would you guys film it?
Wow.
And I was like, cool.
You didn't say, oh, no, the film guy's gone back to England.
Nah.
Like,
I said, sick, BBM one time, yo, you need to teach me how to use Final Cut 7 and we jump on Skype, figure it out. Yeah. We end up paying, like, because again, I had no idea about budget or anything. So we ended up having a budget to pay an editor. Yeah. But I was just like, just do it. You know, and that's what I mean about weirdly. It's probably arrogance, to be honest. But I just believe, like the mother saying in Jamaica, nobody done more than me. So, or like I think in Nigeria they say you don't have two heads. He doesn't have two heads, right? So it's like, well, if somebody else did it, then I can figure it out. And I just always kind of leap in that way.
So how do you so obviously you're in Jamaica at that point.
Yeah.
How do you end up here doing stuff? When does that happen?
So again, so that Smirnoff job led to like another, so Grace Foods, people know Grace Foods here. So that led to a Grace campaign.
Yeah.
But freelance in Jamaica, like freelancing in England, mad freelance in Jamaica is like, yeah. So I ended up getting an assistant editor job for this director, Michael, who does loads. He was doing all the ads, music videos, all of that stuff. So I was working with him for like 2.5 years. And that's where I really learned film, because now it's like I'm in the edit suite. And I did reality TV as well. And that's like, as an editor, as an assistant editor, reality TV
in Jamaica
is a bottom barrel stuff. Because you're like, you get all the footage. Yeah. And he'll just come and be like, yo, so this person said this, find a story that will justify them saying that.
So like, what were you doing? Like the Real Housewives of Kingston? What were you doing?
No. So it's called Mission Catwalk, and it was the equivalent of Project One Way.
Okay, but in Jamaica.
But in Jamaica, it's a Caribbean. Well, it's filming in Jamaica, but it was a Caribbean version. So the Caribbean has a Caribbean version of everything. So like X Factor, all of that. We have our own talent shows and all of that stuff. So I essentially learned how to tell stories through the post house, because it would be like somebody's, like a DP would see a look that two people gave each other, and now they're coming to me being like, yo, find all the moments where them look like them are beef. Yeah. And now I'm just sieving through footage being like, hey, I guess if you cut that and cut that, them look like, even though it wasn't a real moment, but then obviously it's funny because it's live TV. They now see what they're doing, and it's kind of like, wait a sec, oh, so what? And now, you know what I mean? So reality TV is a weird place to like start your storytelling
to learn
career.
Your storytelling,
right.
It's a very specific type of telling.
Yeah.
Story.
So the director I used to work for is a proper like Rastaman, like, you know what I mean? And one day the man just come at work and say, yo, dog, may I sell my things and go Africa? And I was like, what? And he was just like, yeah. And he was just like, look, like any director who you look up to in this country wanted to make films. But, you know, because you need to make money, you do adverts. And then, you know, you buy a car, but you probably buy a nice car. So you need to make more adverts. Then, you know, you start making money. You have a girl, you know, you want to take her out, you make more adverts. And it's essentially, it's like the moment you have a child or have like a mortgage or something like where you need money, you never gonna stop make advert because you need that cash. So he was like, yo, he realized that. And he was like, so I'm gonna sell everything and go to Africa and make a documentary. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Just upon some real like hippie thing. So I was just kind of left there. And yeah, I get 1-2 job because by then people knew me. But obviously, like, it never sustainable. And I just kind of, again, I remembered what he said. And I was like, right, I don't have any of these things. So let me try now. And again, for me, as much as I say I back myself, I don't consider myself a risk taker. Because for me, I calculate the risk. So I was like, right, I want to make films. Let me study my favorite directors. Again, grew up in Jamaica. I don't know. I knew who Hitchcock was, but I never watched a Hitchcock film. So I'm like Tarantino, Spielberg, Scorsese, Chris Nolan, like Guy Ritchie. You know what I mean? Like the most big like people who you know, Spike Lee. And for me, it was like, oh, when I'm literally just Wikipedia them career. And it was either film school or they had loads of experience on sets. Like they were, you know, they were around the industry. So I was like, right, that's how they learned. They either went to school or they had hands-on experience. And I was like, well, I'm in Jamaica and I'm not getting, like, I'm getting filming experience, but not film experience. So I was like, right, I need to either get experience or go school. And I was like, in Jamaica, I'm not going to get experience. So I was like, let me start Googling film schools. So that was it. And to be honest, again, at the time, I was reading, and it's funny, most of my upliftment is Jamaica's a matriarch. So it was my partner at the time. I remember we getting an argument. She's like, the problem is you don't read. And I was like, cool. So let me read. And there was this book, and again, I'm reading the most obvious stuff. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 48 Laws of whatever. You know what I mean? I'm 21. I'm just reading whatever. But one book by Malcolm Gladwell, who's half Jamaican, by the way. The people don't know this. Don't sleep on us. He spoke about big fish, small pond.
Yeah.
And the idea that they say it as a not like a slur, but as as a condescending thing. And he's like, here's the thing about a big fish in a small pond. Big fish, no matter the size of the pond, respect each other as equals. So again, even historically, the Queen of England had a conversation with the King of Ethiopia, even though obviously it was but no matter the size of his empire, he had an empire. So she respected him as equal. So I remember looking at that thinking, America too big. So it hard for try go America and bus just feel kind of big. But I said, but England is a small pond, actually. So maybe if I go England and go film school and try bus, then maybe that might do something for me. And at the time, it was seeing Daniel Kaluuya bus. Yeah. And I was like, okay. But I was like, right, but when I'm checking his credits and I'm thinking, who's an American version to him? And it'd be Michael B. Jordan. But you check Michael B. Jordan's credits at the time. You're the fact that these guys are in conversation, but Michael B. Jordan had to be doing it at since 13 or something like that, shows that idea that big fish, small pond is real. So I was like, let me go film school in England and try bus. So I had a simple plan at 23. I was like, right, so this is the plan. I'm going to go England, bus, become a big fish in England. I'm going to use that big fish energy and just transfer to America and continue my big fish journey and then move back to Jamaica. That simple. And I was like, Steve McQueen don't live in England. So I don't need to live in England or America. I can just live at Jamaica and just travel. And I was like, yeah, that plan sound sensible. So I'm going to just go to the cheapest film school possible.
And what film school was that?
I don't want to load up the man them thing like that.
Listen,
you can't find out which school.
Anybody who needs to know can Google that one yourself.
But I just went because I just need to get in to learn.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to the best school.
Yeah.
I'm done applying for NFTS 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So I just want to learn.
Yeah.
So then that's how I got to England, and
yeah. And then so how long into film school does the Dreaming Whilst Black idea come up, or is that after?
Way after, yeah. So I graduated film school 2014. Yeah. Again, the idea, and I've always thought this about education, is that, and same because I studied architecture, and I was like, they teach you the subject, they don't teach you the profession. Yeah. So even when I studied architecture, it's they're teaching us about how to respond to the environment and, how the psychology of human behavior and how to design to really to think about how does a human exist in a space. And then you get a job and they're like, right, more 2-bed, open kitchen, a living room and a bathroom. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but what's the just as much unit as possible can fit on the land, just give me a mock-up and we're good. And I'm like, but what about the environment? You know what I'm saying?
How does a human live?
Yeah, right. I'm like, but how do they feel in the space? What colors are we thinking about? How high is the roof and how does that impact the Just give me the 2-bed, 1 bathroom, then we go. Bro, just don't think about it. And equally, I think for film school, again, they don't teach you about the profession. They teach you the art of film, which I think is important. Yeah. If you don't know the craft, then what's the point? But I graduated, so we kind of went in you're going to make this amazing film. You're going to get into LFF or Cannes or Sundance. And you're going to get an amazing agent. And that agent, you're going to have your feature ready, because when you get that agent, you got to be ready, because they're going to just take that feature script and you're going to go, boom, you're the next, I don't know, Wes Anderson or something. Yeah. And I made that film. I made the film. I got into the festivals, decent festivals. I didn't see no agent there. So I'm like, right, this plan failed. But at that time, I saw Kayode.
Yeah.
Hood documentaries. I just saw YouTube just popping off, right? Brothers with No Game popping off. Aki and Sawfish popping off. Like, oh, and I was like, yo, like, them money I got, this is going crazy on YouTube. But I think Kayode was so important to see because I saw, oh no, he got industry attention.
Yeah.
And I was like, right. And then Insecure drops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this YouTube thing, which funny, again, I did it 2011, but I'm like, this YouTube thing can really, that's the door. That's the new, I don't know if the man them find a side door or something, but like, this looks like another way. And I was writing another, had my feature film ready.
Yeah.
Had another short film ready. And as my friends, like my film school friends, graduates now, were like prepping to make the next short film, to do that thing again, I was like, nah, but I did that though.
Yeah.
And it never worked. So why am I going to do it again? Me not crazy. But I said, what about this YouTube thing? And again, in my, either is, I really think is bordering the confidence or arrogance. But in my Googling, let me Google this roll safe guy real quick. Man went uni. I said, but I have a master's, bruv. You understand what I'm saying? Man has BA. I said, man can't chat to me. So in my head, I'm like, oh, but if he can do it with a bachelor's degree, I must be able to do it with a master's degree. Yeah. So I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, you do it like you can do it twice as hard as he can.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'm like,
least.
And I got friends, bro.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I'm saying? All my friends are master's people.
Yeah.
So I was like, right. And then seeing Insecure blow up, I was like, right. I think I have the skills and the tools to make a good enough web series that people in positions of power might think this could be a TV show. Yeah. And I just did that. And that was 2016. Yeah. We thought that, you know, me, Max, Natasha, Laura, again, all film school graduates, Ali, you know, and what was supposed to be just a summer ended up taking 2 years. Because again, you know, like, just no money. Right, even if you're making a no budget film, you have to at least buy the pasta for cook. Yeah. You have to at least give a man an Oyster card money. You know what I mean? So and we didn't have no money. So all of that little bits just added up. And took time. So yeah, it was 2016 that we started the web series and it came out in 2018.
So this is crazy because like, you know, I feel like I've had this conversation before, but like, how do you maintain that focus on, like, you know, if you're doing this thing like 2 years to kind of keep doing something, right, and not knowing if it's going on there, and obviously you've got that sort of confidence. You always thought it was going somewhere. So is that it? You just knew it was going to do a thing. So that's how you keep going, or how do you maintain the focus over that amount of time?
Let me tell you something. And they said, again, it's just reading the obvious books. They were like, Thomas Jefferson used to announce an invention before he'd made it.
Wow.
Because he knew, because he done tell everybody that he's going to do it, it kind of put the pressure upon him for like, let me actually sit down and figure this out. So for me, I was like, oh, great, because if I see how people get stuck in, because nobody knows, I can just stop in the shadows. So, but I guess because over time I'd spent, you pass that threshold of, brother, you spend about £2,000 and you film about 3 episodes and you never film it in order neither. So now you have 4, 6 and 8. So you can't even drop the 3 and say, you know what I mean? So now you have to, I'm like, if not, I've wasted like $2,000. Then it's like, right, I've wasted like $4,000, $5,000. I'm like, So now I just have to finish it. No matter how long it takes. This has to get done because ain't no way.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You've gone past the point where you can write it off.
Right, and you keep meeting friends who are in like professional. Again, I went to architecture school, so I have like architect friends or, you know, friends from high school who have like real jobs, and you know, 3 months in, oh yo, Johnny, what you been up to? Yeah, making a web series. 12 months later, oh, Johnny, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, no, I'm making a web series. And they're like, oh, all right. Yeah, okay.
So what's the link?
18 months. Yeah, 18 months. And oh, Johnny, is the web series done? Nah, kind of still make. And I'm like, bruv, I gotta show them something because now this is embarrassing, right? So let me just finish it. But I did think at the time when we were making it, I did think, oh man, I think we're making something. Yeah. I thought I was the next Roll Save. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna go viral. This is gonna be amazing. Never happened, but.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting thing because you say that obviously, like 2 series into like a major thing, you say it never happened. Kind of, you know, so it doesn't go viral in that way. But so you made 3 episodes in the end that you put up, right?
9.
9 episodes.
9.
You put all 9 up.
All 9. We dropped that thing. We were committed to the virality of that.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's in the same way they say that rappers start by rapping their favorite rappers' verses until they find themselves. And I think for me, as somebody from Jamaica with nobody as a mentor or even knowledge of anything in the industry, I just followed people. And again, not even following them with any insider information. I'm just following Iyare from YouTube interviews, or following Kayode from YouTube interviews. But I was like, I'm going to just keep following their path and adapting it to my specificity of my environment.
Yeah. So 2018, you put up all 9 episodes. Mm-hmm. What happens?
Nothing.
9 episodes of your web series are up.
And we had T-shirts. We did a premiere in Leicester Square, Prince Charles Cinema. We got a link. And because that's what I will say, and this is a segue, is when people see you passionately and adamantly trying to do something over time, eventually the people who were like, oh, he's still working on that web series, were like, yo, do you need any help with that?
Yeah.
Even if it's called them feel sorry for me if I say, boy, at least let me give this man a hand. But they started to want to help me because they're like, rah, he is so committed.
Yeah.
Something's in it. So that kind of taught me like passion, like people have to believe in you. Yeah. So you have to really believe in what you're doing. But anyways, back to what we were saying. Web series comes out 2018, March. We get about 10,000 views on the first episode.
Yeah.
And again, I knew what viral was because I saw what Hood Documentaries did. And then I saw what S.O.U.L did with Michael Dapper, right? I was like, damn, we way off. Like, way, way off. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to make another short film. You know what I mean? I tried that. Yeah. That's a bit more expensive than a short film. Let me go back to making another short film. So I just kind of, cool. And randomly, I don't even know how. I think it was Natasha or Max who found, I think maybe they reached out to them to be like, oh, we have a film festival. Do you want to submit this web series to it? I was like, oh, okay. I guess. And that's when I was like, oh, yeah, but some of these episodes are quite self-contained. And that's when I was like, oh, yeah. Then I just saw Soul Fest. I was like, oh, yeah, no, we could, this episode kind of let's just submit that to Soul Fest and see. And then we started submitting it to film festivals. So we did that, which was, to be honest, at the time, felt like a lifeline because at the moment when the industry didn't see it and every agent just didn't even see the email, that was all we had. That there's a group of people who are like our filmmaker comrades who respect our work. And that at least made it feel like something, And the few people who did see it, like being like, yo, love your web series, But by the end of the year, randomly, I went to a screening for a friend of mine, Thomason, 50 people screening. A guy there who was from Nigeria came up to me and was like, oh my God, I love your show. I was like, yeah, oh, blessed, like, thank you, He's like, yeah, you signed? I was like, I'm just, just trying to do my thing, innit? He's like, well, my older brother went to boarding school with this guy in Nigeria who studied in America, but apparently that guy's an agent now. So I'll tell my brother to tell the guy to watch your thing, and he'll sign you. And I was like,
you'll see that thinking, yeah. Well,
I was like, you know what, bro? Because again, this is about 6 months in. I'm like, I appreciate you wanting to like help man, innit? But like, thank you. But I never think about it. 2 weeks later, the man texts me. The man said, yo, bro, the guy's asking for your number. I said, I said, Val, I sent him the thing, bro. And that's my agent.
Yeah? To this day?
To this day, that's my agent.
Wow.
And he'd just been made an agent a month in when... And he said, it's funny because he was like, yo... his brethren, obviously he's like his friend, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like his friend to, my little brother wants you to watch this thing. And he's like, bro, like, come on,
man.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he's like, but apparently the guy asked again. He was like, yo, like the man asked me if you watch it yet. And he was just like, you know what, let me just watch it. Just to say, I've watched it, thank you, not my cup of tea. And he watched it and was like, rah. Yeah. He's like, yo, ask Kane for the thing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was, and it's funny because to this, because Kane is a great actor as well, and we've still not worked together. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to cast my man because like, man bust me. I'm saying, but
so
that's
the agent then. So is that the agent that changes everything? Then is that how it starts to change? Like,
ironically, no. Wow. He then now sends it out to everyone.
Okay.
But remember, he's a new agent. So not really going for him neither. Yeah. Right? But my other friend got signed and Kobe Adam, great director. Yeah. So Kobe can now get signed. Yeah. And he was like, yo, he was telling his agent, yo, and this is before I got signed, yo, you might need to watch. Basically, he tried to put all us on to his agent. And again, his agent, polite. He watched all that stuff and he was like, you know what? Not for me, but I know a company who might be interested. Big Deal Films.
Right.
So that's how Big Deal Films comes into the picture. So then Big Deal Films meets us. They're like, yo, really love the web series. We're a production company. We're trying to, do our thing. Within that conversation, I get signed. And now Christian's involved in that thing. And that was it.
So then, is it Big Deal that kind of take it to the BBC?
Big Deal. So Big Deal is now who now shopped it round. Yeah. And eventually we land at BBC.
And that's then, okay, so at that point now, so this is quite interesting. Because I remember this and I remember it being it was a really big deal because it felt like you were like representing all of us. Do you know what I mean? And we were looking at this thing. If it succeeds, we're all gonna it's gonna kind of open doors for everybody. And if it flops, we're all done for another decade.
Right.
You know what I mean? So did you feel that pressure, or was you aware of that?
Yeah. We were aware of that because again, we saw a web series that we looked up to. Again, Brothers with No Game, Dear Jesus, you know what I mean? R.I.P. Daniel. Venus versus Mars with Bobby and Delia. Like we saw the greats who went viral. Yeah. And never
got a TV
series, right? And even Venus versus Mars, I remember they had some deal with Sky where they kind of
I remember
turned it in, like they kind of expanded the web series and it kind of went on TV, something like that. But I remember,
they shot a few extra little bits for it, but they used the original footage as well. Yeah.
But then again, I was like, oh man, but that never really took up. So I knew that I was like, oh man, us going into this might be like we're flying the web series flag at this point, right? So we did carry that pressure But again, it wasn't crippling. It was just like step up to the plate, innit?
Is it because obviously there's a lot of talk right now about micro drama and all of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's really changed that landscape, right? And so there's a lot of money piling into that area and everything. Do you feel like, are you like, listen, I got a BBC show, Showtime, A24. So it's like, I'm done with all of that. Or do you look at all of this sort of people kind of piling into that area, microdrama, online, designed for people to watch on their phones, and do you think, hold on a minute, how do you see all of that? Do you see that as an opportunity, or you'd be like, yo, do you know what I mean? You ain't asking Spike to do that, and I ain't going to do it either. How do you look at it?
Look. One of the happiest tutors in film school was this guy named Indra. Or he seemed happiest to us. Yeah. And he was a working director. He did the soaps, you know what I mean? And all of that stuff, And he was just like, I wanted to be a filmmaker and I make films. That's my job.
Yeah.
I'm happy that my job pays my rent, pays my mortgage, pays for my family. So I will never, especially now knowing the industry, I will never value or devalue or rank how someone earns money making films. If you're making films, whether advert, corporate video, Hollywood, microdrama, my G, if you pay rent doing this thing, you're in it. So microdramas it's not. Yeah. I don't have a greater or lesser thought on it or think of it any different to what I do. It's just a different format. Yeah. So the people who are excellent at that format, do your thing. Yeah.
But you don't feel like with all of the experience you had now that you could go into that space?
It's a completely different format. It's like saying to a novelist, oh, because you've written 80,000 words, you can now write a poem. Yeah. And I'm like, actually, the condensation, the skill to condense thoughts into phrases is a completely different skill set to writing a book. And I think that's what it is for me. Yes, there are transferable skills, but I would definitely have to
you'd have to spend
study and really spend some time dissecting and understanding the format and how the audience engages with the format to then do that.
Okay. So we've gotten to that point where you're Big Deal have shopped it around. BBC have decided, okay, we get it, let's go. Mm-hmm. And so they commit firstly to a pilot, like a
script.
A script is the first thing that they commit to. So so talk me through that whole process, because there's a point at which we kind of come together, because at some point, sort of 2020, I go into the BBC and start seeing bits and pieces. But talk to me a little bit. So how do you get the first script out?
Anyways, so Big Deal put it to BBC. Sarah Asante was the commissioner editor. Yeah. She commissioned the pilot script. Boom. We now go off and write. We develop with Big Deal in-house. Mm-hmm. Back and forth, draft after draft. We're contracted for 3 drafts by the Beeb. So obviously you want to make sure your first draft that they see is good. So that was like our 7th draft that they saw as draft 1.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because obviously it's not just about drafting, it's about the strategy of drafting as well. Because it's okay, because you didn't show them your first draft and say this is the actual draft 1. And so is that you understanding the process? Is that Big Deal's advice?
No, Big Deal was again, we knew nothing, right? Yeah. So Big Deal was kind of backing on, because obviously everybody wants to make a good first impression. Absolutely. So they were like, yo, we don't really want to send them this. So, you know what I mean? So they wanted to make sure that they felt comfortable. Yeah. And because that's their job. The production companies are the ones who see all the kind of vomit drafts. And then, we sent it draft 7 to Sarah.
So is that what's that process like? Is it frustrating when they keep saying to you, Johnny, you're on draft 4, and they're like, yo, no, this is still ain't it? Or is it like they're giving you notes that you're thinking, oh, no, that makes sense? Or
sometimes the notes, I'm like, bro, what's the... But that's always the thing. Sometimes notes you agree with, sometimes you don't agree. Yeah. But again, we knew we were new, right? And again, every writer will, I'm sure, most writers, I think, will tell you that it's about drafting. Yeah. If you read...
It's not writing, it's rewriting.
Right. There are all the adages about rewriting. So we knew that, you know what I mean? So that was fine, but we our 7th draft, which we thought was good, got ripped. Completely ripped. And it was like a 3-page Word document, single line spacing, and there was one line where she quotes a dialogue and says, "This is funny." And that's the only good note in the 3 pages. And we were like, oh, we really out of our depths. Yeah. We don't know what. So I was like, right, go back to the drawing board, restructure the episode, and then again for me, go on.
Does that line stay in? Did that line, the funny line from that?
I don't even remember what the line was.
Does it make it?
Yeah. But I for me, I'm a big believer in, if something, and maybe it's architecture, but if someone's done it, there is a formula. Yeah. There is a formula if someone has done it. So we were like, right, we need to figure out what makes a TV. And she said it. She was like, you guys are still writing as if you're on YouTube.
Yeah.
And this is not like the TV experience is different to a YouTube experience. YouTube is on the phone. TV, at least at that time, you sit down and engage. So she's like, you need to understand the new format. So we're like, right. So we watch. I was like, what are pilots that we love and think are like dreaming? So we kind of started and watched Insecure. Insecure, Atlanta, Rami then came out, Master of None came out, Shrill came out, and Fleabag. And we watched and start, and wrote down beat sheets.
Yeah.
As if, like, we just wrote down beat sheets of their episodes based on what's filmed, right? And it's like, right, this, I guess, is their outline. This would have been their outline for this episode. And we kind of did that for like these 4 or 5 shows. And what was interesting is Atlanta, Insecure, Master of None, Shrill, Fleabag slightly varies, but Fleabag also have a similar episodic structure.
But also, it's really interesting because they were relevant to your show because there's that central,
right?
You know, whether
central
it's
protagonist on a
think about,
character journey.
Yeah, so it's either it's Phoebe or like thinking about
or Donald Glover or Iyare. So, and I was like, oh, all these pilots have the same screenplay structure. So we're like, right. So then again, dissect. What did Donald establish before we knew he wanted to be a manager? And we just I was like, right. So looking at all of this stuff, we're like, okay, cool. What do we now need to establish before we need to tell the audience? Like, what's absolutely essential before they know Quabs is trying to make a film?
Yeah.
And we kind of designed our beat sheet based on all these other beat sheets. And then we kind of wrote back a screenplay based on that structure. So there's the second draft that BBC saw was like our 22nd draft.
Wow. Okay. I think this is really good for people to understand.
Right.
Because just how much you have to go through, So
Yeah.
So what BBC see as what they think is the second draft is your 22nd draft. And what's their reaction to that one now?
Then she was like, yo.
Okay.
You man have really... She was like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was worried for you guys, but you man really turned this around.
Okay.
She's like...
The thing is, you know what? I can hear Sarah. Like, do you know what I mean? Okay. Because she's a little bit no nonsense. Sarah,
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with her. So it's just like, she's, so that must have been a good day.
Oh, mate. Because I was like, bruv, if she rips us again, I don't know. We've done the work.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then it was like, right, let's just address her notes now.
Yeah.
Sharp knit. Then it became, how do we sharpen scenes? How do we show this instead of saying it? Like, what's the best way to hit that gag?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, then it became in the detail of the script more so than, you have to go back to outlines.
Yeah. And so now, okay. So you finally get, so how many more drafts before they're like, okay, let's shoot? This is properly in the weeds. This is like some proper inside baseball stuff. Do you know what I mean? Might be me, you, and
I don't know. I think Black Lives Matter happened and then it was like, let's shoot stuff. I don't know if that was it or not, but I just know say,
okay,
things start get mad speedy.
Yeah.
Like, but again, we knew that we had one shot. They were like, and she made us very clear, you have one shot at this. Yeah. And we didn't even get the filming. We had to do a table read.
Yeah.
So then it was like, let's cast this and keep smashing this for the table read. And again, because it was COVID, we had to do it in a theater. But because we knew the table read was now in a theater, we were like, but hang on a second. Why not make it theatrical? Yeah. So we had like, because I was working, my mentee, JJ, Jacolia Parker, another filmmaker, screenwriter. She was kind of like, she was like, I just want to like help you in it. Like, teach me how to make films. I'll help you with the emails or whatever. So we kind of had her, we made like a playlist and we got like sound effects, just rip them from YouTube. And so while it would be like Quabbana's on the train, she would like fade up the like train background SFX, and we'd say the dialogue on while this thing is going on, or like again the ending. We knew we had a song in mind, so like when we hit the dialogue, she kind of just fades up the music. So we were doing the most in that tape, even though we were literally sitting down socially distanced. We were like, we're gonna give these people an experience. So we did that table read, and then at the table read, Shane Allen, who was the head of comedy at the time, was like, let's film this.
So that's when you get your green light
for the pilot.
Right. So the pilot. So the interesting thing about this, so like we should. I don't want to gloss over the production because we're doing it. We're in here. Let's go. So you get like, how long do you shoot for the pilot?
5 days.
5 days, and that at the end of that you've got like a half-hour episode basically, right? And
but we had to do a 6th day.
You had to do a 6th day. Okay, explain.
So it's so mad. Day 1, and so Sebastian Thiel was our director for the pilot. And again, everybody was new, right? But the first day when we were about to roll, because they had parked the trucks in, so we got the space, and obviously all the trucks, the gaffer trucks and everything is in the parking lot. As we were about to turn over, some random guy just walks on set and it's like, whose truck is wherever. And they're like, oh, this truck. It's like, you need to move it out of my parking lot. I'm like, what? But no, but we're filming, like, obviously we've got the space in it. He's like, you man didn't tell me you're going to take over the parking lot. Move it. So these men had to pack up all the gaffer stuff, everything, move the truck, find somewhere to park, and then come back and film. We started 3 hours late, day 1.
Wow.
So we kept chasing the day every day, and we kept cutting the meet cute. We kept cutting the meet cute, and at the end of the day, when it was coming on day 5, Gina, our producer at the time, who really kind of held us, Gina Lyons, she was like, yo, they've come there like, yo, we're not gonna get this thing. So it's either we try to scrap and get everything, or just cut it. You don't need it. You can establish it. And I was like, no, you need the meet cute. I'm telling you, need it. And they're like, Adjani, it costs like 50 grand. And I was like, bro, I bet you 50 grand. I was like, if you film this thing and we don't get commission, I'll give you 50 grand. I have no money, bro. Like, no. And he's like, he said it. Danny was like, bro, you don't have 50 grand. And I was like, I know, but I'm that confident. You need this. I was like, if not, it's a short film. And again, because I read, like, if I want to learn, like, if I'm trying to learn something, I'll just try it. I was reading screenwriting books, but specifically for TV. And there was this one book, the TV Showrunner's Roadmap, where they talk about launching the pilot. They're like, you have to give the audience something to be like, what's next? And I'm like, he just quits. That's not the next. Him meeting Vanessa, Quab's meeting Vanessa is
That's why we've got to see what happens next.
We've got to see what happens there. Right, I'm like, I promise you, we need that. He's like, I was like, brother, I'll bet you 50 grand on it. And he's like, brother, I'm not going to take your money. But if you're that confident, let's do it. So we filmed the 6th day. And again, it was just like...
So does the production company have to front the cash for that?
Yeah, they had to front the cash for that. So again, I'm not asking big... And that's why I always have... Because I'm not asking them, man, yo, gamble, gamble with me, bro. Like, bet on me.
Because
50 grand is a mortgage.
50 grand is put, like, I don't care, like, if small production company, that's putting you under. If you don't get that back,
you're done. And I'm like, but I was like, brother, I promise you.
I bet the company on you, bro.
I was like, I promise you, bro, this is going to work. You're going to love it, bro. Like, and that's why even on a scripting stage, initially the script ended, how many is Quabs, how many is Vanessa, and that was the end. And I think it was Gina in the edit was like, but this doesn't launch it though. She's like, you're just meeting. And so that's why in a wide shot with ADR, she's like, so what do you do? And he's like, I'm a filmmaker. Because that was now the first time. Before that, he said he worked in recruitment. The last line of the pilot is saying, I am a filmmaker. Which is now, that's the launching of the series to say, you're about to watch a guy make something. And that's why I needed to be there. And you see what I didn't know that, but I felt it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that man front the cash, film the 6th day, Boom.
And so does because from in my head, right, it goes out on iPlayer as a pilot,
Yeah.
and then basically sort of awards start to. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's just like because it felt like almost immediately. It's just like bam, 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 bam. All right, here you go. Like Adjani's the hottest thing in TV. Do you know what I mean? Like you were getting like multiple. Didn't you win two? You won RTS.
We won the RTS and the BAFTA for Breakthrough Talent.
Like off a pilot.
Off a pilot.
One episode of TV. Do you see what I mean? I mean, like, did you find like because
you see that's the gamble though. You see, I was like, yo, 50 grand, bet 50 grand, but you got a BAFTA now has come to your company. Yeah. A RTS has now come to your company,
and there is a like big deal, and now a BAFTA RTS are winning company.
They have broadcast awards. They have international Emmy noms.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
and
it?
All of
Indie Spirit, NAACP, like.
Yeah, and there's a value to having that in the company. Okay.
And they had 2 seasons now.
Yeah. So that journey going to the episode goes out. Obviously, it's well received. It's well reviewed, and ultimately, you end up with this
season 1.
Season 1 and a bunch of awards. Did they commit to season 1 before the awards?
Yeah.
Before the awards.
Yeah.
So just the awards are like they don't really. You don't need the awards.
We didn't need the awards to
get the second season to get
the
them
first
over.
season.
It was enough that they saw enough in the pilot to say like, let's go.
Yeah.
So the pilot. So I remember one of the fun stories about the pilots because you have to change. There's a big scene in the pilot that you had to change between when it went out as a pilot on UK only TV and when it was going to become the first episode of a series.
Yeah.
And was going to go out around the world. You had to, so talk to us about that whole thing because like I was kind of tangentially hearing about this, but I think it's kind of it's a really interesting story from a kind of a producer point of view.
Yeah. So obviously because we were with the BBC, we had the luxury of BBC's like blanket music license agreement with like ASCAP and BMI and all of them, man. So we could just use whatever we wanted.
And all you have to do is you just have to...
Yeah, we just have to check to make sure that everybody's ASCAP or whichever thing, and then we can use a song.
Yeah.
So then we had a song in there, which was perfect, and it was like, boom, that's the song, done.
Yeah.
And now A24 comes in.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to try and sell this show. They now sell it to Showtime. But obviously, now that we're in America, Showtime don't have... the same kind of music license agreement. So now we have to go back and license the song.
Yeah.
But because of what the joke was, and because of who sang it, them man were like, nah, you can't use our song. So now we're like, yo.
And the thing is, this is not like the important thing to understand about this is it's not like a bit of background music. Like the whole
scene hinged on that song.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and the thing is, they say that to you like it's one of those things they say. If you in the books that like you don't let them know that the music's important, otherwise you're negotiating position.
Right.
But like you've already filmed it and it's pivotal.
And now we have to find another song to reshoot. And
it's not just about finding another song; it's about rewriting.
Yeah,
the scene.
Rewriting the scene because that song was we literally wrote the scene to the song.
Yeah,
right. But again, we're used to YouTube where we ain't making money, so we use all the songs. We just rip and add it to the thing. So now it's like our music supervisor Kaya, who's now sieving through 1 million songs to find a song that says the N-word that works.
Yeah.
And I think it still works. It's still, we rejigged again, but now we were doing it in a front foot to be like, let's find the song first.
Yeah.
And rewrite it, like clear it, and then now write a scene based on it. So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's so crazy. As a story, because it's like, how much difficulty and cost that adds. One little oversight like that, and it's not a thing that's do you see what I mean? Because it's not even a mistake.
It's not a mistake because it went out on the BBC.
It was fine for what the show was, but then you couldn't predict that it was going to sell in America and it was going to be this whole other thing.
So,
do you see what I mean? So it's kind of like a good. It's a problem, but it's kind of a good problem to have because
that means people want it. So it was we're grateful.
Yeah. And so I remember, the first series, I remember seeing like a picture of a billboard in Times Square. That was,
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not even my show, and I was excited.
Yeah, that was on for like 10 seconds or 10 to 12 seconds every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So even when we got there, we're like, right. I was like, yo, let me find a picture where they said the thing was. And I'm like, yeah, I swear it's that thing there, but that's... Okay, let's wait. Because it's the digital billboard. Yeah. Let's wait. MTV. Some other stuff. And like, MTV come again. And we're like, it's like almost like everything is coming in like bouts of a minute. Yeah. And we're like, do we get... And then the first time we saw it, like, yo, you man, get the camera, you man, get the camera. One time I go saw, he gone. I was like, okay, wait, come up now.
It's gonna come again.
It'll come again. Bruv.
Yeah.
Stand up there, wait. And I think every 15 minutes. But so literally it was like, we now timed, because we knew it was now 15 minutes. Yeah. It was at the third time, we were like, right.
We're gonna be ready.
We are ready. So as soon as we saw like MTV flash up again, we're like, right, it's gonna be our moment next. So literally, stand up, yo, hold the camera, wait. And as soon as ready. But that was such a moment because it just felt like, oh man, like again, and that's why I'm not sure if it's arrogance, because like I'll say it, but I'm not necessarily sure. It's almost like I'm trying to will it into existence. Yeah. Like if it never happened, I wouldn't, like again, when the web series came out and it didn't go viral, I was just like, oh well, that's all I forgot. Boom, next short film, just move on. But to see it, I was like, oh no, like we actually did that. Like it's crazy to think. For me to see Iyare and be like, I'm gonna just do what she did. And actually do it. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. So let me ask you this, right? Putting another project into the world or putting another series into the world, what do you know now? What's changed about your approach?
So I think what I know now is just, I guess, I have much more knowledge in terms of how to make a show. Yeah. That's why season 2 looks so different from season 1. I think now I understand the industry a bit better in terms of, actually, if we made that web series 2 years earlier, we may not have been here. Yeah. Because the moment, the world, the time. Like, remember, again, we dropped a web series called Dreaming Whilst Black. And while writing a pilot called Dreaming Whilst Black, George Floyd passes away. Yeah. And every commissioner in the country is committing to diversity. Yeah. And BBC looks and says, this is called Dreaming Whilst Black. Yeah. Like, yes, it was good. Like, yes, it was objectively good. Yeah. But again, we had also fit the zeitgeist of the moment. Yeah. Right? But equally, I have a better understanding of audience now. Yeah. I have a better understanding of, like, again, marketing.
One of the things I did want to ask you about is that obviously, you watched Hood documentary, and I hadn't realised how much of a influence that was. And so when Coyote appears in series 2, because that must be a big moment for you. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, I used to watch that guy, now he's in my show.
Yeah, no, but to be fair, I was in his show. Yeah? First. Because he'd seen the web series and wanted me for a part in Enterprise.
So the thing is, so you were watching this guy. Yeah. You didn't know him.
No.
And so he reaches out to you.
Well, I guess through... Yeah. So that's when I was
that's got to be a great...
That's
a fun call to get.
Yeah. I was like, what? For man's sake. So even... And he doesn't... I remember just being like... And again, I genuinely think Coyote is probably one of the best comedic performers in this country. Yeah. Easily. Like, easily. I saw it when I was on his set. Yeah. And then when he came and did our thing, again, if I had thought about it in advance, I'd have written his character to be massive. Yeah. Because he's just that good. But like, seeing him, it was just such, I was like, oh man, like, is a moment, and that was intentional, because we knew we were the web series that kind of like went through. We intentionally tried to cast people from every web series that was before us. So we intentionally we never just give a role, but like it would be like, oh right, yo, ask that person to audition, because they were in that thing. You see what I'm saying?
What's the sort of the next thing? Are what are you going to be doing next, and how are you going to kind of move things along now? Do you see?
So I kind of have this thing where when I figure out something, I'm kind of like, kind of over it. I want to like challenge myself again, and I'd love to finish Dreaming West Black and just kind of wrap it up in a neat little bow. But in terms of the comedy drama vibes, I'm like, it's safe to say I'm pretty decent at a comedy drama.
I mean, according to the RTS.
According to many people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over it. So now it's like, so I'm working on a sitcom with Ali again. I'm working on a crime drama. And working on a drama feature. So I'm just trying to stretch myself now and be like, because I think a goal for me is I really want to just master storytelling, regardless of the format. So it's like, okay, cool, comedy drama, I think I have that string on my bow. Cool, let me go learn the next string, because sitcoms is completely different. Like that's now you're in the gag rate, returnable kind of series, character development kind of vibe. So yeah, writing that, loving that. And again, feature film space, again, completely different story structure.
And so when you write, are you always writing a part for yourself? Because
I'm not in anything as I'm writing.
So are you stepping back off the screen?
No. It's just that, like when I got Dreaming West Black initially, or the first time when they questioned like the early conversations, they were like, oh, do you want to be in it? And they were like, you can write and act it or write and direct it. And I was like, well, I don't even know who directed Awkward Black Girl. But I know that because I know Issa Rae, her name got stuff made. So I was like, I want to write and act. And actually, they was quite surprised. They were like, oh, but I thought you'd want to direct it. And I was like, but I want people to know my name. Because that name will now put me in a room to get something else. So now that I guess the industry, kind of like knows my name, now I can, there's no pressure to be like, oh, I need to keep like promoting myself. You know what I mean? Like, let me go back to directing. But I would love to act in other things. It's just that I want to direct. So I'm like, I'm writing all of these things for me to, you know what I'm saying? So although I might, cameo. Like in the sitcom, I might cameo myself to like just link the universe, you know what I mean?
To your Johnnyverse.
You know what I'm saying? You never know. But yeah, that it's not my intention to act in any of those things.
Man, that's a really good place to say. It's been amazing to have you on the Soulcast. Adjani Salmon, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you for having me. Oh, it was a pleasure, brother.
Like and subscribe.